It's lovely. Good evening, Zambia. Good evening, Africa, and warm welcome to the finest program live on Muvi television from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. Today is the 19th of November, the year 2020. We are broadcasting to you from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka, once again. First of all, allow me to offer an apology to all the people that have been watching, rather that have been following our advert across the week. That was supposed to have former press aide Amos Chanda was supposed to make this appearance in this program, but unfortunately we just received a message that he's unable to make it for today. Hence, he has requested to have the program postponed to another day, which will be able to officially inform you should be by tomorrow or so. So once again, allow me to apologize. We don't take you for granted because we believe that Muvi television is here today because of your support and also your input. But above all, we are not short of guests as the company. We always have our regular guest that comes in the studio because of the love and the passion they have for this company. And therefore, we have decided to summon, or you have summoned, a new Labour Party President, Siwale, is here on the program to, of course, help us discuss a number of issues that have been lined up for him. Among the issues you expect to discuss is the ongoing voter registration and also to deal with the preparation for the 2021 general elections. Remember again the default of 42 million United States dollars, which the country has failed to pay as well, will be under discussion. Later on again, we move on to talk about the issues to deal with the floods that have, of course, today, the first rains to mention. We have seen a number of houses in Lusaka have been destroyed. And later on again, we shall get to the nitty-gritties of just to get its position regarding the debate going on about President Edgar Lungu's eligibility of 2021. There's been a lot of discussion surrounding that. Now let's hear from the veteran politician himself, Siwale, who is joining me on the program. This not all, but we shall also get into the issue just to talk about the performance of the Patriotic Front from 2011 until where we are today. Let's find out more. The man is here, Mr. Siwale, new Labour Party President. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Innocent. Good evening, fellow citizens.
Right. First of all, again, I did apologize to the people of Zambia that were supposed to have Amos Chanda was supposed to make an appearance here, but of course, we've been informed that is unable to come. Allow me once again to apologize to you, just as much as we don't take our viewers for granted. I personally, and also on behalf of the company Muvi Television, we don't take you for granted because each time we call on you, you are able to respond. You've never disappointed us before. And allow me to once again appreciate you and also maybe apologize for ambushing you as we do.
Well, when national duty calls, we're always ready and available. So you don't need to apologize, right? Because we're performing that which we set out to do. So my coming here, though at short notice, well, it's just responding to national duty.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Let's get into the main discussion, Mr. President. Let's begin with the new Labour Party. I know that the country, we are preparing to hold the election next year, which of course, I believe that to be one of the tight contested race next year. Let's begin with your political party, New Labour Party, in terms of the growth of your party. Where are you to start with?
Well, we're growing. Right now we have representation around the country. Exponentially, we're getting there. We're getting there, the numbers.
Right.
Right.
When you say you are getting there, what do you mean exactly? I think.
Well, in terms of structure formation.
Exactly.
In terms of structure formation, mostly we are dealing with the ward formation. We are encouraging our to organize our party, at a ward level. Ultimately, that is where we are concentrating our efforts. Yeah.
Well, sorry to mention this, Mr. President, that you don't sound to be very, confident in your explanation, when you talk about the words, you talk about the structures, you don't sound so confident.
No,
You feel
I'm
so
very
embarrassed.
No, I'm
You know,
embarrassed of what?
Yeah. Because
Come on, Innocent.
I feel that I'm speaking to the president of a political party here, who is a founder. Again, I'm speaking to the vice president of New Labour Party.
No.
At the same time, again, I'm speaking to a spokesperson of this
I'm
political party.
I'm the only,
and above
as
all,
president,
I'm
listen.
speaking to the entire membership of New Labour Party.
Listen to
Since
this,
you are
Innocent.
running alone,
As president, I'm the only chief spokesperson
Right.
of the party. I would want one day you invite our Secretary General, to come and answer the questions about the structure formation around the country. I think that would be good for you. Instead of you each time calling on me, call our Secretary General to give you an overview of how the party formation is taking place.
Right.
Yeah.
Indeed, you are right. I think we will do that in the future. But for the sake of those people that might be having the same questions that I have for you, you can just run us through in terms of who is your vice president, who is the party SG and the likes. Mention 4 names or so.
Okay. My vice president is Paul Kondwani-Banda.
Right.
Our Secretary General is Gerard Msoni. We have, our national coordinator, Mr. Ngoma. So, basically, you wanted 4 names.
Sure.
I've given you the 4 names.
And those names exist?
Of course. And our party,
Those are not
our
ghost members.
our national chairman
Right.
is Mr. Joseph Winner.
Right.
So, invite them. You see, the issue here, you want just to talk to me alone. No, I'm not alone. I'm just one, I'm one cog in, in this assembly of gears.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's get into the nitty-gritties of this conversation. This country, of course, I wanted to find out in terms of the formation, or rather the growth of your political party, because we're at a point whereby the country is in dire need of a leader, or a practical leader who is going to liberate Zambians from the current economic hardships that we are facing, we are going through, and also the political, intolerance that we have today. Really, when it comes to the issue of the problems that the country has, how practical is Fresh as Siwale as well as the New Labour Party? How practical?
Yeah. I'm sure as you move around Lusaka, you are seeing young boys and girls with sacks on their backs. They are from the garbage heap to pick plastic bottles so that they can sell to make a livelihood.
Sure.
Now, you see, as a nation, that should worry us. In that, you see, God being who he is that amongst those boys who are growing up, those girls who are growing up on the garbage heap, God has planted a seed of presidency in one of them.
Right.
So tell me, when their time of reckoning comes, because each one of us, okay, that time will come because that seed must germinate, must come to fruition. So tell me those boys and girls who have the seed of presidency, who are growing up on the garbage heap, when their day of greatness comes, what are they going to bring in the presidency? They're going to bring that garbage heap into the presidency. And we are not learning from our brother Lungu, because society did not invest in him. See, Zambia did not prepare our brother Lungu for his day of greatness. Hence, when he came into the presidency, when that day of greatness came, he came with his garbage heap. And that is why we're struggling with him, because as society, we did not prepare him. Now, what the New Labour Party's vision is first and foremost, we must first identify all the pitfalls that are inherent within our system. Because Zambia as a country and as a nation, we have no foundation on which to build, whether politically, economically, socially, psychologically. We have no foundation whatsoever. Now, if you look at, like I gave you an example of those boys and girls who are growing up on the garbage heap. They come into leadership. They'll bring their garbage heap into there. Even as professionals, when they come in, a doctor, they'll bring that garbage heap to the hospital because they are not ready, to become professionals. And because of this big problem that we have currently, you will find that our brothers who are supposed to be professionals, lawyers, doctors, engineers, teachers, because of their background, because of where they're coming from, they were not ready for their positions. Hence, they end up saying, in an inch tofi, in a kuriamofi, tientulienabo. Okay? Even currently, our biggest problem, if you look at the legal fraternity, from state councils, senior lawyers, they are failing just to pinpoint that Esa Uchulu and ECZ are breaking the law with this voter registration. Senior lawyers. Because the Electoral Process Act is very clear. It is saying continuous voter registration. There is no provision for deletion of the register. But you hear the lawyers. What are they saying? Let's look at our fellow opposition leaders. They are abetting the illegality. Why? It's because, from childhood we are not schooled, to point out a wrong. We tend to use emotion. Breaking of the law is nothing to us. Now, this culture is coming because Zambia does not have a foundation. And that foundation, in our generation, since it's not there, it's the next generation. We must be able, as New Labour Party, our vision is to get all those children from the garbage heaps, all those children from the streets, to give them a family. Because in our manifesto, the basis of creating society is the family. We believe the family is, is the building block. The family is a building block for society and ultimately the building of a nation. Right. So that foundation must first be taken into account so that we begin to build from there, so that because every society must endeavor to create better citizens than themselves. Our generation of citizens, if you look at, for example, me and my generation never grew up on a garbage heap. So when we begin to see these children who are growing up on garbage, it means Zambia is not developing, it's regressing. It is going backwards. So,
at what point do we miss that foundation? Because you've lived here for long now. I'm sure that problem you're talking about, you should have corrected it way back.
We lost it at 1964.
Right.
Because you see, in 1964, when the British were living, they left us a welfare system, a welfare state. Okay? Now, because the founding fathers of this country, you know that they all came from the village. They did not understand this system.
Right.
Then they politicized it. Okay? Now, when they politicized it, it now became a non-professional, arrangement to that of a political season. If they're going to provide social security, it is a campaign issue that you see, we are going to give you pensions. Okay? Right. When in actual fact, when a person retires at 65, they are supposed to straight away go to social security, what you are now calling social cash transfer. Right. You get the point? Sure. You've even misunderstood it. You're saying social cash transfer. Now, the way you're disbursing that social cash transfer, is it impacting on the economy? Because you see, Because all these activities, the sum total of all these activities in a nation, national registration, elections, social security, name them, the education system, they must all impact on the economy. Ultimately, everything that you do, national registration is an economic activity. But here we don't see that. That's why you see mobile arrangements. Okay? Elections. Elections are an economic activity in that they induce, consumer demand. They boost consumer demand in the economy. So the production of goods and services increases. You see during election time, those who manufacture drinks, those who manufacture, the printing sector, they have all this business, but it is not captured, it's not structured. We need to realize that all these activities, the sum total of all these activities, must relate to building our economy.
So basically, from what you've said, it appears that no one is responsible at this point where we are, because it's like you are telling us, this nice history that for me has no solution at all. Anyway, you are good in terms of telling stories. I love that. But in terms of offering practical leadership, I think you seem to be behind.
No, not exactly, because you see,
who is responsible?
No, listen to me.
Mention that we are at this point because of the colonial masters, the system that was set up by the colonial masters.
Listen, they left us a good system.
Who should correct
No,
it?
listen to me. They left us a good system. But our founding fathers did not understand what was left. Okay? So they started changing emotionally. You may recall that we had the educational reforms and the Monacatwa reforms of 1974. We've had all these reforms. Then we had the decentralization policy of 1980, which was, we're saying decentralizing, but meanwhile, you're centralizing. Okay? You're doing things in opposite. So along the way, there are all these pitfalls. Now, all these decisions that have been made in the life of Zambia have impacted not only on the economy, but on the social service provision in the country. And ultimately, this collapse that you are seeing, the wiping out of the entire capital base of the country, because currently Zambia does not have a capital base, Hence, you are going to borrow, from all over the world. Now, when you are borrowing from all over the world, did you know that our friends who are embarking on this borrowing, they don't know that as long as they borrow from abroad, if they're borrowing from China, they are borrowing from the unborn child in China and encumbering the unborn child in Zambia. But the reason why they are going to borrow abroad is because they do not understand that locally they also have instruments, okay, where they can borrow from the unborn Zambian child. Now, you see, look at this. We have sand here in Zambia. We have stones in Zambia. Cement we have. Water we have. But we've failed to build real housing estate for our citizens. Okay? Because our friends who go into government, they don't understand that they can borrow from the unborn child. Okay? And prepare the housing estate for that child. When that child is born, they'll live there. We don't know. Any government on earth has two instruments that they can use to borrow from the unborn child. Deficit financing. You've heard of people saying deficit financing. Okay? You borrow from the unborn child to fund consumption. Productive inflation. You borrow from the unborn child for infrastructure development. But look at you. You are borrowing from China to do a flyover bridge, a sand dune, encumbering the unborn child. When we can borrow from our own unborn child and build the road infrastructure. We can build the housing estates. We can also begin to create an economy. Because you see, one thing you must know, Innocent, is that every nation on earth has only two sets of resources.
Right.
God has only given two sets of resources to every nation. The population, which is man, and the land.
Right.
Okay? The Western world, they use just these two resources to build their economy. They create industry using just these two. They don't have copper. They don't have diamonds. But they come for them here. You know why? It's because ourselves, we do not appreciate the land. But we want to get the minerals which are in the land. You get the point? To get the minerals which are in the land and sell them.
Right.
It's like, you see, you don't value this building, but you value this furniture. You get? That is the way we operate. Now, we need a complete paradigm shift in the way we organize ourselves as a society. We must be able to appreciate human capital and the land.
Right.
Because all these minerals that you're talking about, copper, gold, diamond, whatever, they're in the water, food, everything that you're talking about is in the land.
Right.
So let us first manage the land. And after all, even when you read the Bible, when you read Genesis chapter 2, verse 5, the Bibles read, God did not allow rain to pour on earth, and did not allow water from underneath the earth to touch the seeds that he had spread all over the earth. Not until he put man on earth. What was God's purpose in man? Man is the manager. God put man as manager of the earth.
Right.
Okay?
Interesting.
That is biblical. God put man in charge of the earth, in charge of the land. So man must manage the land. Now, which now brings me to governments. When we constitute a government, the responsibility of government is to invest in its citizens, to acquire knowledge and skill, to maximize and optimize the use of the land.
Right.
But in this country, those who were supposed to equip with knowledge and skill, first, we starve them from the day they are born. You know, during the under 5, do you know, when you see, have you ever looked at the under 5 card? The under 5, that horizontal line, what does it signify? You see they put kgs. For you, you think it's the weight of a child. No. It's the growth of the brain. That line is supposed to lead you to the understanding of how the brain development of a child is taking place. Between 0 and 5, that feeding program, when you go to Europe and America, is government responsibility. The Western world, they pay every child, you know, for their feeding, for their clothing, for their toys. Why? Because you see,
Is that part of your manifesto?
of course,
Right.
that's part of our vision, because we need
And
to,
that is attainable.
it's attainable. Because you see, let me tell you, let me give you an example, because you don't understand these things.
Sure.
You even say, where is money going to come from? Let's assume there are 1 million children in Zambia who are, say, receiving 500 kwacha per week. So government will be spending 500 million kwacha per week. Times 52 weeks, which is 1 year. 1 year is 52 weeks, not so. So it means government will have committed itself to spending 26 billion kwacha in the economy. Now, just that 26 billion, the economy will sense that 26 billion which will be spent in the economy. So they will respond the production of baby foods, clothing, toys. Do you know why it is important? To feed the child for brain development. Toys to stimulate the brain so that they are ready, you know, for knowledge. When you want to teach them, you put knowledge on their brains, the brains will be ready. Clothing for their dignity. You You see, a child must grow up in dignity. Unlike now, our children are growing up naked, walking half naked on garbage heaps. Where is their dignity when he becomes doctor? Where is his dignity? Yes, he's a doctor, but where is his dignity? You get the point? Now, every government must have a mid-term plan. Now, a mid-term plan, it means 25-year plan to develop this child, this baby who is born today, to become a better citizen. By the age of 25, will have become a professional of international standard. Right. Now, it's government to have that program.
Right. Let's move on. I want us to try to cruise. And,
before you go there.
Okay, sure.
Now, because we are trying to ask where will the money come from. So government will spend 26 billion.
Right.
Now, because of the production that will emerge, because of the buying of goods and services related to the pediatric sector, it means that this 26 billion will give the economy a GDP of times 10, which is 260 billion. Okay? Government in this economy taxes GDP on average of 30%. So what is 30% of 260 billion? Is 78 billion. So when you take out 26 billion, what is the difference? Government makes a profit of 52 billion. Government would make a profit of 52 billion in this economy. Right. Now, any government on earth must make a profit. And if your government is not making a profit, kick them out. Because they're not worth being there. It's as simple as that.
Are we making a profit?
No, this PF is not making a profit.
Right.
They're just stealing. They don't even, because you see, they're eating the seed. They don't even know, because you see, if they were using the instruments, deficit financing, unproductive inflation, who will not be encumbered in debt, which they are now struggling with.
I want you to tell me and the people that are watching us right now, in terms of how ready are you to take up the presidency come next year? Because you told us a lot of stories, good stories.
We are ready like yesterday.
Wants to know.
Now listen to me, we are ready like yesterday.
And are you contesting next year?
Well, if all the legal impediments, because currently we have a problem. Chulu and ECZ, they've announced that they are going to delete the register of voters. Now, the law does not provide for deletion of register. Once Chulu deletes that register, first and foremost, where is he going to get the power to delete the register? Because if he does that, it will be extrajudicial and illegal.
Right.
Okay? Now, once he prepares a new one, under which law? So it means there will be no register. The validity of the Chulu's register will be challenged.
By you?
By Zambians. We have to be ready to challenge Chulu. Because which law is he going to use to prepare a new register? Because the provision under the Electoral Process Act is that it's continuous registration.
Right.
So there is no provision to delete the register. Once it deletes, it will be his emotion, not the law. And Chulu is not above the law. And all of us must begin to get back to the rule of law. How do we get back to the rule of law? Is to resist. Like the Constitution has placed, it's the duty of every citizen to resist the manipulation of the law.
Get them, Mr. President, but I will recycle my question again. Maybe you never understood my question. My question is, are you contesting come next year? You almost answered, but you went somewhere else.
No.
Are you
I've not answered
next year?
If all the legal fundamentals are in place, there will be an election next year. We are ready for that election.
Or what do you mean when you say there will be an election next year?
No, I mean...
There will be an election next year.
No, but if there's no register...
There will be an election
No, listen to me. If Chulu prepares a register which is outside the law, it will be invalid. It will be invalid. And... Look,
you seem you're not sure whether you are going to contest or
not.
not.
We are sure, listen to me, but listen to me, but we will not promote, we will not promote illegality. Listen to me, we will not promote illegality. Look at this. The 2016 election was an illegality. So Lungu was held office illegally because he's not president.
Let's
It
forget
was,
about
no,
it
listen
still.
to me. No, no.
Let's
no,
forget
but
about the
let me tell you one
bygones.
thing.
Let's
But
talk about the future and the current now.
Listen to me, Innocent.
Yeah.
As a nation, we must be able to resist the manipulation of the law. We must all be below the law. No one must be above the law. We must operate, institutions and individuals must operate within the confines of the law. Okay? Now, once somebody commits an illegality, it will not go away. You see, the good thing about a criminal act has no statute of limitation. It will catch up with you, no matter how long you decide.
Why does it mean that, politicians want to sound to be more intelligent than all the Zambian,
This is not about intelligence. Let us read the law. No, listen to me.
To demonize someone
listen
who
to
was
this.
legitimately elected.
Legitimately, when there was no ballot paper. How can you be, because how do you collect ballots? It's through a ballot paper. Now, if there's no ballot paper, how do you claim that you are elected?
Which ballot paper are you talking about here?
Look, the rules for holding of elections were abolished. Okay? When the Electoral Process Act came into existence. Then the rules, that's where the nomination form is, that is where the ballot paper is, the form to collect results is, the affirmation form. So these came into existence on the 12th of August. When did you vote? 11th August. So what you used on 11th of August, were they valid? Look, let us all be, let me tell you one thing. Once you perpetuate illegalities...
And that issue wasn't raised at that moment.
It was raised. It was raised.
You never took the matter to court. And today you went to politics.
Then you don't...
for the sake of gaining political
Then
violence.
you don't read. You don't read.
The question is,
go and
what
check
action did you do?
Go and check the court records. Go and check the court records. Go and check the court records. Okay? Go and check the court records.
Did you petition that?
Yes, I did petition.
You did?
Yes. I did petition. And that's why I have kept saying, Lungu.
Meaning if you did petition and then you were challenged.
By who?
Hence we decided to proceed with the elections in 2016.
Listen to me.
Here we are with
what they
new
did,
president,
listen to me.
And ECO is almost finishing his term.
No.
Yeah.
But let me tell you one thing. The good thing about illegalities is that when you are in power, when you are presumably in power, you can do anything.
It's a fact.
No,
it's
listen
not
to me.
assuming
But
it.
once you leave office, but
that's a fact.
Later on, those illegalities will follow him. Then that's the time you will see that he was not president. And the decisions that he made at that time will haunt him.
Right.
Listen to me. Ichalo bane tabanga sha. If you tulevuta. You get the point? Uli wonso of mono of concept ya isa mukasabanye chalo. You can't allow that. What we need is that we must respect the law of the land. If Chulu does not like the Electoral Process Act in the form it is, he should have told the executive to prepare a bill to go to Parliament and amend the law. Then he can delete the register. Are you with me? Then he can prepare a new register, a new voters' roll. But if that is not the case, he has no power to delete it, and he has no power to prepare a new one. It's as simple as that. He must follow the written down law. If he doesn't follow the written down law, that register is preparing becomes invalid.
Have you engaged the commission? Or you are a man just who loves speaking through the media?
Listen to this, Innocent.
Have you engaged the commission on all the concerns that you are laying on the table right now?
We have so many ways of engaging ECZ. And you know that ECZ, in its current form, they don't want to listen to anyone. Haven't you read?
You are assuming, Mr. President.
No, listen to me. Haven't you read that? Don't criticize us. Don't criticize us.
They've said that.
Yes, it's in black and white.
What
Read.
is that? Which
I think
statement?
2-3 days ago,
On what subject?
on the same elections, on the voters' roll, they are saying they will not accept any criticism. Now, the law,
I don't
as it
remember-
stands,
I
listen
don't
to me.
remember when that statement was issued, because
Shindano issued that statement.
The
Shindano.
statement you are attributing to, I went through it. There was nothing of such a statement or such a way to say, don't criticize us.
Don't
I
criticize
have
us.
that statement.
Can you read? If you have it, can you
The
go through?
statement, I have it in my memory and run it through.
Run it through,
Where- and
run it
how
through.
it came about was an issue where the Young African Leaders Initiative raised a serious concern over the distribution of registration kits across the country. And according to them, they feel that the commission gave more kits to Southern Province than all the areas. And
Okay.
then the response, the commission said, the commission is established. First of all, it is an autonomous body. Again, he mentioned that it works on its own, and therefore it will not allow.
listen
it
to
will
me.
not allow
ECZ
citizens
to
or
criticize.
individuals that will be profiling its staffs.
Listen to this.
Not criticizing.
No, listen to me. Listen
but
to me.
profiling
Innocent.
its staff.
Innocent. Listen to this. ECZ is no longer autonomous. Under the 1996 amendment, the 1996 constitutional amendment, it was clearly stated autonomous electoral commission. Under the 2016, it's just one of the commissions at Cabinet Office. It's not independent. It's just one of the commissions. It's not that autonomous has been removed. That autonomy was removed under the 2016 amendment. So how can they be claiming? You see, that's what I'm saying.
Who removed it, Mr. President? You
That
sound
were the
very
2016
strange. Your
no.
argument sounds very strange. And
Go and read.
know.
You see, the problem with all of you, you don't
read.
read.
It's like
Yes.
you are the only Zambian
Listen
that
to me.
has read.
Go and
Who is
read.
well-learned
Go
in this
and
country.
read. Go
All
and
right.
read. Before you argue with me, go and read the 2016 Constitutional Amendment. Then compare and contrast it with the 1996 Constitutional Amendment. The 2016 does not place the ECZ as an autonomous institution. That autonomy was removed.
Right.
It is just one of the commissions at Cabinet Office. It's as simple as that. But when you read the 1996 amendment, it clearly states autonomous electoral commission of Zambia. It is in black and white. So today, Chulu cannot claim that he's running an autonomous electoral commission of Zambia. Because the law, the constitution does not give it the autonomy.
The commission to address all those issues, or maybe to lecture them on a number of, how
Listen.
should operate.
Now,
have you engaged them?
what the
You
ECZ,
said
listen to
They have
this.
threatened you not to criticize them, which I've
Listen,
said, that
listen,
statement is not
no, but
existing at all.
Look, if they said they did not want anyone, any citizen, to be profiling his personnel
Yeah.
and to criticize it unnecessarily, when, what is that?
Not criticizing. Criticizing.
Listen to me. What is
profiling
that?
are
What
two
institution?
different things.
What is the institution?
Profiling is
Yali.
where you pick
No, listen
only
to
two names to say these are the problems. Okay? Out of the movie TV institution here, you pick IP to say is a problem here. We don't want it
look,
here. That's what
look,
the commissioner meant.
even
Not precisely.
even ECZ, I can profile all of them.
Right.
Are you with me? I know them. And there is nothing. Look, they can't even conduct a free and fair election. And you see, if they were an autonomous institution, where is the opposition representation on that commission?
Right.
Where? I've always told my friends in the opposition. You are crying for this and that. But where is our representation? Your fellow competitor picks all his children, puts them in a room, and says, you are the ones who are going to count the votes. And you expect the children, your friends' children, to count your votes. Look at Secretary to Cabinet. During election, Secretary to Cabinet is the one who runs government. Did you know that?
Right.
And any winning candidate will be called by Secretary to Cabinet to start the process of transition. Now, if our current Secretary to Cabinet is also advised at State House, are you sure he's going to call the next winning person?
Well,
all these are pitfalls, you see.
Pause, Mr. President. I found the statement, actually, that you were talking about, because we want to clarify why you said the Commission really refused to be criticized. And the statement here is saying, the Electoral Commission of Zambia has noted with concern the allegations leveled against it and especially its staff with regards to alleged manipulation of the voter registration exercise. Paragraph 2 there, Mr. President, goes that the Commission is an autonomous body.
Which it is not. That's a lie. Okay, go proceed. I'm just saying. Which is a lie. It's not a
management.
Okay.
Body, all right. Which you are refusing.
It's a lie because the Constitution does not make it autonomous. The 2016 amendment took away that autonomy.
Established under Article 229, Clause 1 of the Constitution of Zambia and the Electoral Commission.
Now, you mark that clause, that article, and go and read.
Under Article 229.
Yes. Go and read. You must read that article.
Yes. It's there. We can't argue. It's there.
Yes, but you must read what is contained in that article.
What are
listen to me. The issue here is that that article does not confer autonomy on the Electoral Commission of Zambia. It's just one of the commissions. But the 1996 Constitution Amendment
told us here that they are an autonomous body.
Just like they are hallucinating. Listen to me. Just like they are hallucinating on the Electoral Process Act. Now listen to me. Listen to me.
The article we are supposed to read.
Listen to me. They are hallucinating. Just like on the Electoral Process Act, which does not provide for the deletion of the register. They are saying they have the power to delete and compile a new one. When the law does not provide for, what is provided for under the Electoral Process Act is continuous. What is continuous voter registration? You add new voters, those who are coming of age. Not deleting.
Right.
So once a person deletes the register, Chulu deletes the register, it will be extrajudicial and illegal.
Let's move on. I wanted just to clarify the issue of criticizing or criticism and the likes. That is not there in the statement. Do we agree to
But they don't want to be criticized.
No.
But listen to me. Listen. No, we are not assuming.
You deliberately.
No. Listen to this. Can you read the statement? No. Can you finish? Can you finish that statement?
Right.
Finish reading the statement.
Right.
Now, once you finish, then you make. Then you're going to make an informed opinion of that statement.
You don't need.
You have to. You don't have to.
Let's not dwell on opinions.
No.
Let's dwell on facts.
I form an opinion once I read. I form an opinion. The whole idea about reading is that after you read,
don't you think so?
Yes, of course. And the Constitution guarantees me the right to form an opinion,
and
to hold one.
That opinion that is most of you politicians you use.
It's not about politics. It's about these illegalities. Look at.
I want us to proceed.
Yeah.
Should we proceed?
No, please.
Thank you. So let's move on now to, again, still on the Electoral Commission of Zambia, since that's why you've just brought us now. And we've been told, according to the latest figures given by the Vice President, that the country so far has registered 1.1 million people, which is way beyond from the projected number of 9 million voters.
Okay.
You know. Now,
can't you see that the Vice President, actually, you know that under parliamentary rules, the Vice President can be cited for, can go to jail for lying on the floor of the Parliament, that the register will not be deleted. She is on record to have told the nation through Parliament that the register will not be deleted, the law shall be followed. But what is ECZ doing? Now, look at the arrangement. They are doing mobile registration of voters.
Sure.
Now, when you read the law, why is the town clerk mentioned in the law, in the Electoral Process Act? Because
Right.
the registration of voters is supposed to be domesticated at local government level. The people in Lusaka must register their own voters. That is what is provided for. Why is Chulu holding on to? Why can't he delegate to Lusaka so that Lusaka?
What is your worry? Do you think that
We should not continue breaking the law. No.
The 9
Listen,
million,
look, it's continuous registration.
Yeah.
So Lusaka City Council should have continued to register voters.
Indeed, Lusaka City Council
That's
should
the
have
law.
continued.
Yes.
But let's speak.
No, but
the realities
they cannot. No, this is
where
not
we are
reality.
now.
Breaking the law.
Fine.
No.
Let's
Listen to me.
Right.
I am not a fan of breaking the law.
Mr. President, because my worry is that no matter how much you're going to labor here,
The law.
to explain, to
We need
justify
everybody,
the
listen to me,
legalities,
everybody must follow the law. You see, when you are running government, government is not about emotion. Mark my words. Government is not about emotion. Government is about laws. You break the law to follow you. That's abuse of office.
I want you to
And
answer
you
my
want to start,
question.
and you want to start complaining when the law, finally follows you. No, I'm being persecuted. But when you are breaking the law, you are even being advised. You are breaking the law. Can you stop? Because this is extrajudicial and illegal. Can you do the correct thing? You're saying stop profiling my personnel. It
What
will
should
be
be done
corrected.
here?
Let us go back to
My
the rule of
simple
law.
question-
It's the rule of law.
my simple
This
question was-
country, listen to me.
Can we capture the 9 million voters that we want within the
Even if you,
remaining 3
listen to
from
me,
now?
even if you captured
For 2
them,
weeks.
listen to me, even if you captured them illegally, there will be no voters' roll. It will be invalid. It will not conform to the law. It will not conform to the law. As long as Chulu deletes the register which is in existence, which conforms with the law as existing now, whatever he prepares will become invalid. It is his personal arrangement.
He seems to have a lot of issues with the Electoral Commission of Zambia.
No, but it's the law. I have
Justice
issues
Chulu
with
himself
breaking the law.
and others.
Listen to me.
You
People
know,
using emotion.
You've
You see,
reviewed a lot of
Chibane, Chino Chalo
perceived
Chesu. Listen to me.
illegalities here
Yeah, now listen to
that
me. It's
you've
not
talked
perceived,
about. But
they are
the
real.
question is, Mr. President,
These illegalities
I
are
will
real.
repeat my question. What action have you taken to address these matters before the commission? Really?
They've taken the route of being stubborn. Okay? But you see, once you break the law, listen to
I
me.
think you are making my interview very difficult, really, Mr. President, because
We
you are not
must-
answering my question. You're not responding
Because you
to my
want
question.
me- you
the
want
question
me-
is,
you want
what
me-
action you are lamenting here?
I'm not
On
lamenting.
the perceived
I'm
illegalities
pointing
being done
out.
by the
Listen to me.
commission
I'm
here.
pointing
and
out
the
the
question
illegalities.
is, can I ask again the question?
Please go ahead.
What action, or have you tried to approach the Electoral Commission of Zambia to address these matters, apart from lamenting on a national broadcast like this one?
Listen to me. We have engaged the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission, listen to me.
Have you tried yourself?
Yes,
Not
we have.
I have not.
No, listen to me.
Myself, others have not. But the
As an
question,
institution,
have you tried
listen
yourself?
to me. As an institution, because our party is an institution, we have tried.
Right.
Okay? But you see,
What have you done?
we have
Complaining only?
pointed
Have you
out. Listen to me. We've
Not
pointed
pointing out. Have
Listen
you
to me.
taken a step to go there, or in form of a petition or a letter to advise them? Have you done that?
We have
Not
written.
pointing
Listen
out.
to me. We have written the Electoral Commission of Zambia.
Right.
We have pointed out.
How many times?
Why should we point so many times? Once we inform you, we'll
When was that?
Listen to me. The past 2 months we've been talking to ECZ. Can you do the correct things? The law does not provide for deletion of the register.
Whom did you speak to when you went there? Whom did you meet?
We have met all the officers there. Okay?
All of them.
All of them.
At the same time?
No, differently. Unless you want,
when I
listen to
look
me.
into your eyes, I think,
So listen to this. Unless you want, unless you want us to give you a copy. Listen to me. Unless we want to give you.
And you're not being honest.
No,
What you
listen
are
to
saying
me.
to
Listen
yourself.
to me. Unless you want us to give you a copy of the correspondence, we'll give you with a funny show. So that you know that
be accusing innocent people.
We
You can't
have
tell me to say
engaged. We
you
have
engaged them.
engaged.
You went to meet all the staffs there. It's not possible.
Listen to me. We have engaged the officers, okay, from the chairman himself. We have engaged him, okay, to say these are wrong things. Can you come back to the correct path?
Right.
Okay. Even the vice president, Boy Nongewina on the floor of the House, did mention that we will not delete the register. We shall conform to the law. But the following day, what did the ECZ say? The vice president does not know what she was talking about.
Right.
So that is how stubborn they've been.
Right.
Okay? To them, they are above the law. The written law in this land cannot be followed by ECZ. When the Constitution even says they are not autonomous, they are saying they are autonomous. Where are they getting that autonomy? It's the law the way it is framed. If you don't like it, go back to Parliament and amend.
Right. Let's try to close, Mr. President. My question is, again, with regards to the Electoral Commission of Zambia. There's been a lot of concerns that the Commission really, from the day when they commenced the registration of voters, they've been facing a lot of challenges. People protested, people, lamented, just like you are also highlighting a lot of issues here.
They were not ready.
And also the illegalities you feel that the Commission has committed and the likes. We had also, including the people from the ruling party, that went at loggerheads to say the Commission has to put its house in order. Does it mean that we are safe as a country?
They are not ready. First, they're operating outside the parameters of the law. Secondly, what we've been used to as voter registration is that the polling stations register voters during the entire exercise.
Right.
Now they're doing mobile, that 1 week here, 1 week, so people must start following wherever they go. That is not how you do voter registration. They are defranchising the citizens. Now, taking away people's right to determine their future is in itself an illegality. Because that is theft of people's rights. And this government, this PF administration, must see to it that this exercise is brought back to within the confines of the law. Let us not break the law with impunity. Let us not be seen to be above the law, because it complicates matters later, because that is clear abuse of office, where people begin to place themselves above the law, above Parliament, that what is written, they can just override it and do as they wish.
It appears no one is, appreciating the works of the Commission because the PF have complained, including the President. That was yesterday, of course, issued a very strong statement against the Commission, as well as you in the opposition. You're not happy.
But listen to me. Like, but the buck stops at the buck stops at Lungu's door.
What should he do?
He must make sure that the Electoral Commission conforms to the established law.
How can he do that? Because if he does
he's in charge. This is not an he will not be criticized.
He's interfering.
No, look, he's supposed to be a lawyer.
Right.
Lungu is supposed to be a lawyer.
Of which he is.
So he's supposed to read the law. What is provided for under the law. Because you see, when you are drafting these laws, when they're making these laws, there is a nuisance they intended to cure, what was the intention of the drafters of the law? When you are reading the law, you must be able to say, first, what was the intention? You read, then you begin to look for the intention. What was the intention?
Maybe that's what forms the autonomy, autonomy
No.
of the commission.
No.
Because it's like no one is favored here.
Listen to
And
me,
the
what,
president,
autonomy,
like
listen to
you
me.
are saying, maybe he's done his part and they say,
He hasn't done
let
his
them operate
part.
on their own.
No, he hasn't done. When they're breaking the law, he's supposed to say, Vane, can you do the correct things? This is outside the law.
Right.
It's as simple as that. He must guide them and say, this is outside the law. Can you perform your functions within the confines of the law? That is what we expect. Not that they become super citizens, that they can be above the law. And they can encumber everybody, every citizen in their illegalities.
Let's appreciate also the works of the Electoral Commission of Zambia so far up to this end, because it has managed to.
How do you appreciate an illegality? Listen to me. You can't, as long as they're outside the law, you can't appreciate anything.
Understand my question.
Whatever they're doing is extrajudicial and illegal.
Question. Right. I understand my question, then you respond.
It borders on fraud.
Why can't we appreciate the works of the commission so far?
Fraud.
Because it has managed to accommodate all the concerns.
Which
that
concerns?
people
The first
have raised.
concern. The first concern.
You know,
no, listen to
by
me.
extending the
Listen to me.
hours for people to
It's
register
not
as
about
voters.
extending the hours. It's not about. What must be addressed first is the law.
Right.
Are they operating within the confines of the law? Okay? The parameters of the law are set. That is the first thing that I must address. Now, these issues of night registers that they've extended, it means that I don't think they live in Zambia, these guys. I think that, you see, power has gotten to their head that they can. In Chibolia, can you move at midnight to go and register? In these compounds, you begin to endanger the lives of the citizens, the would-be voters. Why can't you go by well-established? You see, ECZ is supposed to be a custodian, of elections and voter registration. That history, from way back during the colonial days, that history is supposed to be there. How were they conducting voter registration? Okay? Then they'll say, how can we improve it? But when you begin to start creating Tuntemba, Tuntemba as registration centers, moving targets, what are you solving? Are you adding value? What is your problem?
For you, that is wrong.
It is. Because you see, are you telling me even voting, the voting day, they'll be moving that polling station? Tell me. Are they going to create Tuntemba Toma polling stations? And they'll be mobile?
As we conclude, Mr. President, I want us to, of course, we are having our own elections next year. But of course,
I hope so.
The USA, we will be having elections next year.
I hope so.
Why are you doubting?
I hope so.
Why do you doubt?
No, I'm saying I hope so. My prayer is that we have the elections next year.
We will.
No.
Of course, it's in the Constitution already.
I'm saying.
The calendar is set, everything is set.
No. I'm saying my prayer.
Why do you doubt?
Look, when you have all these illegalities, when you have all these unnecessary hiccups, you are frustrating citizens.
Right.
You're creating problems where there are no problems.
Let's move on. Let me finish my question. Next year we'll be having the election, although you doubt, of course.
Don't build tensions where there are no tensions, where there's no supposed to be
tensions.
tensions.
And that's what you're trying to do yourself.
No.
Because the Constitution allows us
The
to
law.
have the election
The
next
law.
year. But you don't
The
believe in
law.
that.
The law.
For
me, I respect the law.
Let me finish my question. My question is, the United States of America had their own elections. Of course, that was some weeks ago. I want us to pick one or two lessons from there that as a nation we can learn from the US election, and also you politicians. What lessons do you pick from there?
First and foremost,
to answer
first and foremost is that the central government does not run elections in the US.
Right.
Okay? They have election boards locally. Like, so they register their own voters, they conduct their own rules and things like that. But they have the main role.
That's the first lesson.
The first lesson.
Okay.
Okay? Even us here, it's the same thing. And the law provides for the domestication of elections at local government level, at council level. We have failed to do that over the years. Okay? Because people are, you know, I don't know whether they think by holding on to they have advantage and things like that. We don't need all these roadblocks, hiccups, frustrations of citizens. You know, the rights of citizens must be enhanced. They must be able to choose their leaders in the process. They must be able to go and register as voters, unimpeded. They must be able to cast their vote unimpeded. And every vote must be counted. Now, what we learned from the US is that every vote must be counted. And transparency in those elections. That is what we learned from there. But what is happening currently is that there's no transparency. People, you see, by mobile registration, people must begin to chase at you. Everybody kui? At everybody yuku. Everybody kui? Tatushi kuntubede. You can't call it voter registration. The other thing is that you can't tell people go and register at midnight. Where is their safety? Are you providing them with transport? Under all these hard economic, times that people are going through, then you begin to complicate their lives. It's not worth it. Let us simplify things, because we're not doing these things for ourselves. Let us lay a foundation for future generations to come and build on, that they can conduct their elections, they can register voters properly. Because what we're doing today will impact the future of this country. We are building a stage. Now, if you build the wrong stage, it's that future generations will fail to understand the things that we're doing. And that is how you begin to see civil wars begin.
One of the lessons, if you ask me, I think that I noticed from there, was that it took USA, I think, close to 5 days before they could, one is found as president-elect.
Well, even now,
Biden.
No. It's the press that has...
And they're still counting up to now.
It's the press.
Yes.
That calls out. Okay? The press. But you find that in all the, the states, the counties, it's still
counting.
Yes, because they have to certify that vote at a county. A county is a local government area, like a ward. They must certify it at the ward level, at a county. Then, that is how transparently, everybody is there. Okay?
Can that be done in Zambia?
Yes, we can do those things. We can do those things.
Without
when we respect the law.
Chaos,
Each
time you delay to release the results or
listen
counting.
To me. It's the law. It's the law.
Others will stand. I would say,
it's
to
the way,
count the votes. Why are they taking 2 weeks to count the votes?
Listen to me.
48 hours.
It's the way.
They want to rig my votes.
No. You see, it's the foundation of your law.
Right.
How have you structured your law in relation to elections?
Right.
Okay? That will clear out suspicions.
Right.
And also, how are you involving the stakeholders in the preparation and the conduct of elections?
Of course, tension, we have seen it. In USA, there's been a tension.
No, but you see,
way to go.
Yeah, but the structure is that
violence.
But the structure,
the violence that you talk about in Zambia
but
here,
the structure,
during campaigns, during
look,
elections,
they can fight.
Listen, and it's you, the same opposition leaders, that when you see your own political violence in here, you begin to call on the international community to get involved, without knowing that even them, they have got their own problems.
Yes,
you don't talk about them.
You see, innocent.
Let's learn from them. Let's be objective in our analysis.
The issue here is that what sort of leaders are we giving ourselves? The Americans gave themselves Trump.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the times that we were growing up, Trumps never became presidents anyway. But in any case, what you must do is the foundation. Now, because the American foundation is so strong about democracy, people can fight in the street, they can do all sorts of things. The structure is moving.
So do you believe that fighting
the election
during
infrastructure
an election is normal?
Listen to me. The election infrastructure.
Is it okay to fight amongst political party leaders or cadres during an election? Is it okay?
How do I? It's primitive.
It's primitive, isn't it?
You see, exchange of ideas. You see, exchange of ideas cannot lead to physical violence. Are you with me? Because I hold a different opinion from yours.
I emphasize to ask this question because when you see people fighting in here, you begin to complain or to accuse those in power to say they are failures. You know, they've got powers to stop this political violence. You know, and you have seen it in the USA.
Listen to me. Who has been stoking that violence? It's Trump. So
above all, whatever you want to say about the violence happened in USA.
Of course, happened.
An advanced country.
Look, racism has been heightened during the Trump era, last 4 years. But behind here, remember the Al George Bush tie in that election, okay? The dispute of 2000. Did you hear of violence? No.
So can you simply say that maybe Trump is a failure as well?
Look, remember I told you.
Yeah, because you're saying that the violence has just occurred
yes,
this
the
time
childhood,
around.
listen to me. The childhood, a preparation of a child for his day of greatness.
Right.
Trump did not prepare for his day of greatness.
Right.
Hence the embarrassment, where he is now claiming that he won the election, when in actual fact the electoral college vote speaks otherwise. Right. Now,
I want to ask you just one question before we go. The credits are running as we speak right now. But my final question really would be in terms of how do you weigh the PF's government, performance from 2011 up to now?
You see, when
please under a minute.
Yeah, when PF came into government, the exchange rate was about 4,800 or 4,800. What is exchange rate? It's above 21 kwacha. That just in itself tells you that they failed.
Right.
Okay? On monetary policy, they failed. Now, what is leading to this failure of monetary policy is the indiscipline in the fiscus. Right. The fiscal policy, they don't have anything to show for this massive indiscipline, you know, in their fiscal policy. Right. They can't manage the economy.
Mr. President, allow me to wish you the best. We have to go. Time is not on our side.
Thank you, Innocent.
Right.
And good evening, viewers.
Dear viewers, we end our discussion here. My guest has been President Siwale, leader of the new Labour Party. He's been here, of course, explaining a number of issues regarding how this country can be made a better country for everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and once again, apologies that our guest whom we anticipated failed to come, but we believe that we'll be able to make it some other time. Thank you so much. Allow me also to appreciate my guest, Siwale, who managed to appear on the program. Each time we call him, he's able to respond. Thank you so much, Mr. Siwale, and the people of Zambia. Thank you so much. May God bless you. May God bless Zambia. Good night.